you think you might be here?
11:30.
11:30. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All
Very
right.
well. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you send a delegation of not more than 5, me with you, and there will be a time limit.
So, I guess there's a difference between Senator Roberts and Senator Moran's protocol, is that right?
I offered you an opportunity to come to this office and to make your case.
So you will meet with us?
If there are 5 people, no more than 5 people, I will meet with you.
All right, I think we can do that, Mel.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. See you. Is noon or shortly after okay? Oh, I guess. You must need to meet with some people.
Who was that?
That was Mel Thompson at Robert's office.
What's his problem?
Well, he's clearly defensive, which in a way is a good thing. It got so cloudy you couldn't even see. It was the Orpheum.
That's the one right there. Yes, sir.
Yes.
All 3 Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Cool. Oh, hey, there's somebody. Yeah, nice.
This is Ron Fitt.
No, my t-shirt. As Obama says.
You know what? What's
Vote
funny
women
about
in
that?
for 2 years.
I heard a thing today
And you haven't made.
on Richard Rule, and he was saying that the meaning of repent is to think again, to change your mind. And that is, God, where'd you get that?
Yeah, she's young. She should go. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a recorded conversation with Senator Roberts, a Representative Mel. We were not getting in there.
Yeah.
But Mike has said, yeah, he'll meet. So I would say no more than 5, whoever wants to go. There you go. I was wondering about that.
Let's go, Trump! Down with Pelosi.
So called Moran's office. They are going to meet with us. We had some reservation. In fact, they were not going to meet with us because they're taking phone calls all day, they said. But I said, do you mean we're driving all the way down here to see you and actually talk face-to-face to staff? And at first he said, no, we're not going to talk to you. And I'm somewhat sympathetic to the fact they're getting a lot of phone calls. But I think finally, this has yet to be resolved, but we think Robert's office is going to meet with some of us.
What are you hoping to accomplish here?
We hope that they will remove the president and, if possible, remove the Secretary of State. There is so much disgraceful action. There is so much disgraceful action going on, and they have a remedy in front of them, and they're not exercising it.
So are you just wanting Senators Moran and Roberts to have an open mind in terms of the impeachment trial?
Absolutely. And at least hear witnesses. They have given no indication that they're willing to do any of that. And that's inexcusable.
A huge majority of Americans want witnesses. And the different polls have different amounts, but I mean, we're not in the minority. The whole country wants witnesses, so it's really ridiculous to not allow witnesses.
It has to be a fair trial. That's what we're asking for, a fair trial.
How he's going to vote and all that kind of stuff. Are you at least happy that he's listening to testimony?
He has a strange way of being on the fence. There's almost nothing that he said that would indicate he's really willing to listen to anything more than simply covering up. GOP cover-up, as one of these signs says. That seems to be what it's about. So if they are not going to listen, we're going to come to them and ask them to at least talk to us face-to-face.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah.
You are not the enemy of the people.
No, you're not.
Yes, thank
We
you.
appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you for reporting the news.
How many want to go? Don here has a hand-delivered letter. Okay?
I've got a letter too.
All right. All right.
Let's all go. Let's go. I think we have to put the signs away to go inside. I think we have to put the signs away.
Yes! I got it.
That's all in. Of course they will. But that doesn't mean we have to go.
But what's important is we get hand-delivered letters. So Hannah and Don, hand-delivered letters, I think, are key.
Should we all sign it?
Yeah, do you want to?
You guys can go first. How about over on the left over there?
I have a clipboard here.
And we are all here to support Senator Moran for doing the right thing and asking for a fair trial where we have witnesses and we have documents presented. I think he needs to use good Kansas common sense, and that again, he needs to do the right thing. He needs to protect the Constitution and not the party or the president. I think that's a fair statement from everyone. And then there are other people who want to say something.
Kind of country over party.
Yes.
Yes.
I came down here with that same concern, but I didn't know anybody else was going to be here.
Nobody called you.
and so I wanted to deliver this letter and see if you got it before the vote. Yeah. My concern boils down to this. The president can stonewall the legislature long enough to cover up any wrongdoing, and the power of impeachment and removal from office is nullified. There's no checks and balances. This is especially important when the president can use his power to cooperate with the malign entities to influence our election process. So, if a president can maliciously influence an election with no fear of even being investigated, let alone being removed from office, we don't have a democracy.
I'll be happy to deliver that.
I went to Senator Roberts' office and there was nobody there.
Okay.
So would you deliver this for me?
We're going there next.
We're going there next.
Nobody there.
We're going up.
We're going over there. We're going there next.
You can walk in?
Yeah. They're answering a lot of phone calls.
It's basically the same message.
It's exactly the same.
I'm going to scan this and send it to our DC
I
office.
copied it.
Okay, but yeah.
Well, he's going to send it.
To our DC office, but if you'd like me to, I can send it over to you.
Do that too, and we still might go, but I'd appreciate it.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, so are you getting any sense of how they're feeling?
How they're feeling?
Yeah, your boss and the other guy.
Mike and I are here in Wichita, so we're at a disadvantage that we're not physically on Capitol Hill.
But you hear
But
things.
I suppose so, but probably the same stuff as all of you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I
gotta
have
hear
a,
more
I have a
than we
comment
do.
though. I call like 3 times a day in some weeks, not every week, but they told me that I've called over 500 times. I've gotten not one answer,
Okay.
not one.
Oh my
And I've
gosh.
asked a gazillion questions. Why he does this, why he doesn't do this, and why he does. We're tax-paying citizens. We are paying his salary, correct?
Yes.
His benefits, his health care, everything that everybody is fighting for in this country. Happy people are healthy people, am I right? That's what I've noticed. If you're sick, you're not happy.
But-
He has health care. We all need health care. We all need, we need it. It's just not a question. We need it.
But I want to
And
say
we should get it.
I want to say we're sympathetic to your position and really appreciate your
Yeah,
accommodation.
thank
You are much more receptive than we got the other senator's office, and you're on the kind of the front lines. So thank you for being here. And it is a shame that
We work for you, so you're
Yeah.
all welcome anytime if you want to come
Appreciate
as
it.
a group
Good.
or
Appreciate
individually. So.
You know, as
I
a,
have some chocolates.
Oh.
These are called courage and character chocolates. And the hope is that he doesn't have to eat them, but
Is it below $5?
it is. It's $7.50. I'm trying to be.
Oh,
It's too much. It's $7.
what is the? Is it
I
10
thought it
or-
was 10.
I think it is
Okay.
10.
I got
Okay.
it $7.50. So.
way to go, Hal. All right.
I don't know if we can
This
divide
is-
it by 2. Does that
But we as Kansans demand a fair trial with witnesses and with good documents. And this is our hope. All of us here being here is hopes that Moran will show a lot of character and courage. And I know it takes that because there's a lot of people in his party that don't want that. And so
Pressure.
we just ask that he has courage.
as a clergy person, I'm disappointed, very disappointed, and have been some time with President Trump's behavior. I consider it unethical, immoral, and I think we can't turn away from his behavior. And now the Senate Republicans in the Senate are really, in my opinion, using issue management to get around the evidence that is being presented, that was presented in the House. And you can't turn away with that kind of strong evidence. And I think that Bolton needs to come forward and be invited to testify.
And others.
Yeah, and
That's
all
not
kinds of.
Okay.
you calling us Adele. Calling us Adele.
Excuse me.
I've been waiting since I arrived. My
Okay.
name is Linda Lewis. I'm from Lindsborg, Kansas, and I've called this office several times on various issues. As these other folks have said, we are not opposed to Senator Moran. We support him. We want him to fight for justice. We want him to be on the right side of this issue. We want him to be on the right side of history.
Understood.
And what our president has allegedly done, and I've listened to all the evidence and I'm overwhelmingly convinced, if he has done that, we know his behavior, we know he will do it again and
The
again
next day.
and again.
Yeah,
until
tomorrow.
the Senate steps up and has the courage the House had to try to stop him in his tracks. Thank you.
And it's also about the office of the president, not just that person. We want that office to be moral, considerate, for us, honorable, all those things, not just Trump. It's who's ever elected next or after that.
Amen.
And we're not all from Lindsborg. We've got Winfield represented here. Who else? Wichita, Salina,
Moundridge.
Wichita. So we've come away.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you about, I've got 2 kids, 35 and 37, and a granddaughter. And you can't hurt me anymore the rest of my life. But you guys have to be involved, and because you're my kid's age. And this country's gonna be totally different if you guys don't get involved now. I'm asking you to do that, which you already are.
Understood.
So keep yourself morally straight. Thank you.
Even though we understand your paycheck.
If you'd like, and you don't have to, but if you'd like, I can pass this around if you want to sign in just to tell the senator that you were here and this is
Sure.
your viewpoint.
Thanks,
So
man.
I'm happy to
Thank
pass that around. Don't feel obligated, but if you'd like, you sure can.
Yeah.
And will you send
Each of us keep a weekly report every week, no matter if we're meeting people face to face in the office or out in the field, or if it's by the phone, the messages, even though you're talking, we're like extensions of his eyes and ears, so the message does get to
Well,
him.
then raise your hand.
What's the best way to contact? If you sent 500 messages.
No, I talked to them 500
I've heard
times.
that President Trump tweeted 144 times just in one day recently.
I can beat
So.
Hands down, right?
We got a ways to go.
What's the best way?
But when you do get on the phone with a staff person, you've got our complete attention. Like I just said, the message does go into our weekly report to the senator. It's not another staff person that reads that report, it's the senator himself. And he's oftentimes sending us messages when he reads it. Just, did you follow up with this person, for example? So he is paying attention to it.
But he hasn't followed up on all the phone calls that I've made. And lately, I've talked to Stephanie several times, Noah several times up there in DC.
Okay.
And they promise me that they get these messages to him.
Okay.
And they are written down and sent, one way or the other. But I'm not getting an answer.
Okay. Well, are there questions that you want a specific answer to?
I
We
wanna
can try to
know-
arrange that.
Well, lately, I want to know why he isn't calling for the documents
Okay.
and the witnesses.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
And there
In
might-
any trial,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Can you explain to us why he's not?
Why
Well,
not?
I mean, this is an ongoing process right now that we're still, I think we're just in the second week of it. Sometimes getting those messages out, those responses out, they do take time. I myself, like Mike, we're not in DC. We're not up there drafting those responses, sending it to the senator for his approval, for him to review and submit his edits. So I don't, like I said, it's a process. So you will get a response.
One other thing, that lawyer to lawyer, I am an attorney,
Okay.
and I know that Senator Moran is also. This issue that somehow we're overturning an election by doing this,
Yes.
or preventing an election,
No, we're
it's in the Constitution that impeachment by the very definition means that you are going to nullify an election. That's the only mechanism the Constitution gives for us to take out, and I'll use his words, take out a president when they've done something that is meets the definition. So yes, by the very definition, impeachment does remove an elected president, and that is per the Constitution. So as a lawyer, and Senator Moran, who's also a lawyer, follow the Constitution, not the party or the politics.
Impeachment is not a coup.
No, it's in the Constitution as an available way for us to remove an illegal president.
And I think Don's comment about the malign forces manipulating our elections, it's not just Russians, is really spot on.
There's lots of
Spot on.
malign forces, but if we wait for an election, it may be too late.
Yeah, it's the party too.
Because we know
Yeah.
he operates in his self-interest and his self-interest alone.
And we also know that if Trump is not stopped by this process, he will attempt the same thing again and again and again, as he previously invited the Russians to tap into Senator Clinton's emails, and as he allegedly, I know it's not proven, was consorting with the Russians in the previous election.
I read the Mueller report.
Yeah, okay. And as soon as the
Wow,
Mueller report
what a
said we're
boring
going
read
to
that was, gee whiz.
the next day or so, he
I'm disappointed, very disappointed, and have been some time with President Trump's behavior. I consider it unethical, immoral, and I think we can't turn away from his behavior. And now the Republicans in the Senate are really, in my opinion, using issue management to get around the evidence that is being presented, that was presented in the House. And you can't turn away with that kind of strong evidence. And I was, before being a clergy person for 19 years, for 25 years I was an environmental engineer.
Whoa.
So I have a lot of background in environmental issues and air quality issues as well.
Well, did the Cokes come try to buy you off and get a report wrong?
Robert Mueller did his job. What his job was. His job was to get out all the things that his job. Well, he kind of made that.
The Deutsch. Market or market? So shall we push the button and see if anybody else is
Oh my
here?
God.
He's here. Hi. Surprise.
Are you Mel?
I'm Mel.
Mel Davis.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Let's go. Hey.
We'd like to give you some aboard. Yes, there are 5. Got it.
No.
Actually, there
No,
are.
there's more than 5.
We're not noisy and we're not rowdy. We'll be
Okay.
fine.
We just need to.
Okay. Are there any cell phones or anything like that?
Oh, yes, everybody's
Okay,
cell
you
phone.
cannot
Free
use
speech.
those,
Why not?
there's free speech, I know.
Oh, yeah.
But there are rules in the Senate, and if you want to check with
This is
the,
not the Senate, this is the office.
We don't want to sit in the public
And
office.
I really think.
Freedom of
No,
speech.
you need to drop that act.
hi, how are you doing? Good to
U.S.
see you.
Constitution here, sir.
That's right. And I agreed that we would meet and we would get your message, and that's still the agreement.
Come out here.
Come out here and do it.
Okay, okay.
We don't care. We'll
Okay,
stand to be in the
okay.
office.
Go right ahead.
Hi there.
So I think we can all speak for ourselves, Mel, but
Okay.
these people are Moran, and if you don't mind, let's just go around and identify who we are, where we're from.
That'd be fine.
And
I've
the
got
statement that we
a
have.
deal here if you all want to sign your
Okay.
name. Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Lynn Steffen, Bob Steffen's sister-in-law.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, my name is Lynn Steffen, and my brother-in-law is Bob Steffen, who was the Attorney General of Kansas for 16 years. He was the state's #1 Republican for all those years, and I think he's very, very disappointed in his party.
So he's still around.
Oh gosh, yes, he is. Still kicking. He's in Kansas City.
How's he doing?
He's doing all right. He's had a few little physical things, but he's okay.
Now, you have the same name, but he's your brother-in-law.
He's my brother-in-law. He's married. He's the brother of my husband. Yeah. And so I'm married to Don Steffen. We used to have an advertising agency here in Wichita.
Looks like you married the right one.
Thanks. Thanks. Does that
Thanks for
do
your
it?
activism. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't think the fight's on right now.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
go ahead.
my concern is this. I was trying to figure out how to say it properly, and it basically boils down to this. If the president can obstruct all the evidence and documents that he has in his possession that would prove or disprove the issues, then if he can obstruct it, then we don't have any power of impeachment. If he can obstruct it long enough to have an election on which he has already tried to influence with the malign actors, then we don't have a constitution. So that's what we have. We have either impeachment powers or he goes unchecked, and that's not a democracy, that's a dictatorship.
Okay. Any other comments?
My question is, since he's not running again, why does he not have the courage to follow the Constitution and stand? Do you have an answer for that?
He's following the Constitution, he's in the Senate chamber right now. They're making the argument, or giving the other side of the argument. We will have that opportunity.
Why does he think
24
it's
hours.
okay not to give
He's
witnesses?
sitting in the chair and he's listening to the facts.
What
I don't think
He's
you
not
can
getting
ask,
the facts.
ask for anything more than that.
But
He
they haven't
he sat in the chair for the first 24 hours. He
That's-
will sit in the chair for the next
Good,
24
good.
hours. And he
Wait.
will assimilate the facts as they are presented, and then the Senate will act.
But if he
So go
doesn't
ahead.
hear of the
That's part of the
Evidence?
problem, is that the evidence and the facts are not being presented
Okay.
to the Senate. It's being stopped from coming to the floor. How
Okay.
can he help bring all those facts to the floor?
Those facts are being presented, and at the conclusion of the facts, they will have a discussion.
This sign, that says what we want to happen.
Where are the
okay.
documents?
Okay, thank you. I will pass on that message.
But what can he do to make that happen? How can he
He's-
bring Bolton in?
He's a part of the process, as the other 100 senators are, and he will listen to the facts, and they will discuss that, and then they will make a decision.
But how can
And
he
this will-
bring
your
in these
comments-
sort of facts?
Your comments will all be sent to Senator Roberts, so that it's all part of the process. And so I appreciate your exercising your opportunity to present your
Yeah,
case.
and I'd like to, this says, Dear Senator Roberts, Kansans demand a fair trial with witnesses and documents. And we give you these courage and character chocolates.
Well, we don't take anything.
It's less than
That's
$10.
not a bribe.
It's not.
No,
it's
it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It could be a bribe.
No, it's not a bribe.
We're just trying to sweeten the message.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
just trying to say that we're Americans, we're Kansans.
Sure.
And these things are important to
And we
the
don't feel like
future,
we're-
my future.
Very
I
well
don't want a
represented.
future where we have a bunch of crooks in charge.
Earlier this morning, it looks as if many of the senators are saying, we don't want any more facts. We
Roberts
don't
is
want to
part of
hear
that.
certain witnesses.
I would like to
Thank
just
you.
say something about Pat Roberts and the fact that this is his last term in office. I happened to be in the Kansas legislature when Ross Doyen from Concordia, where I lived at the time.
remember Ross.
Ross,
Good
he
man
was
from
the one
Concordia.
on the Senate floor of the Kansas legislature who cast the deciding vote against the death penalty. I don't know what year it was, but I was there with a bunch of nuns and other people from Concordia watching our senator do that. He did the right thing, even though it was against the party. And I would implore Senator Roberts to do the right thing. This is his last, will be probably his last most important act.
Yes, that's
And
right.
he has nobody to account for. He does not have to account to Trump. He does not have to account to the party. He just needs to do the right thing.
I will pass on that message. You
And
made it
I
very well.
have to just add real quickly, a letter that Pat sent to me said, this is pure political theater. That's why this repent sign is up there. Repent
Okay.
means to think again,
Okay.
to change your mind.
Okay.
Because clearly it is not political theater we're talking about here.
I have a question too, is why he didn't keep his promise to the girls when we were standing outside of the Wichita Country Club. And he drove up with his driver, he got out and talked to us on the grass. And they filmed it. You can look it up on the news stations here in Wichita. And he promised every single one of us that he would not vote to repeal the health care, Obamacare, otherwise known as ACA, which covered millions and millions of people. And there was a girl talking to him saying, begging, please don't, I'm gonna lose my health care. And he said to her, quote unquote, you will not lose your health care, period. And we all trusted him, and we all got the shaft,
I will
basically.
pass on that message.
Yes.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I would like to encourage the senator to encourage additional witnesses and documents to be brought forward. I think what's happening right now is that the full issues that we need to be talking about, or the Senate needs to be talking about, has to do with information that's come up, and it could be within the Senate, so it could be debated. You could look at the validity of that information, and each senator could make up his or her own mind. So I would encourage the senator, to vote for additional witnesses and documents to be brought forward.
I will pass on that message.
Thank you.
I'll just echo that. I hope he'll keep an open mind, and that means listening to more witnesses and documents and seeing more documents.
I will pass on that
Thank
message.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As we've seen lately, the truth will come out. Why not now?
Truth shall set us all free.
Why not now?
You have a heritage to be proud of,
I do.
as I do.
And I'm trying to protect it.
The farm that
That's
I'm
not easy.
associated with was purchased by my grandfather in 1903. And it hasn't been easy, but we still have it in the family. Yeah, I yield.
And Mel,
Thank you.
I want to say I understand the pressure that you feel. I would feel the same thing in your place. But I do appreciate you being willing to listen to all of us.
I appreciate your taking the time, because I know you some travel the distance.
It helps establish our common humanity, and I think that's why we're all here.
Right.
We're here to do the right thing,
Right.
to share our common humanity, and we're fighting for the United States of America. We need Pat Roberts to do the same damn thing.
He always has, and always will. So thank you.